Hej och välkomna till Öppna Kanalen Växjö. Idag kommer vi ha ett internationellt tema och därför går jag nu över till engelska. We're going to have this evening in English because tonight we're going to talk about Europe, about different open channels in Europe. How can we share experiences? How can we learn from each other? How can citizens in different countries in Europe voice their views, voice their interests? So welcome and have a nice evening. Marina Treichel, very welcome to Växjö. You are a producer for the Open Channel in Berlin.
Yes, I'm a producer for 8 years now in Germany. I have been producing in the United States. Some of my tapes have been going to the United States, and I hope to be able to work with Sweden, to find producers here in Sweden to work with, make productions together. I think it is necessary to work with other countries. It is not enough only to have productions in the own country.
We look forward to that.
Thank you.
And with us in the studio we also have Johannes Moubis from Gothenburg. You have been working for many years with Open Channels for Europe and also for the Open Channel in Gothenburg. Very welcome to here.
Thank you.
I think one very important thing now when we are meeting across different countries is to say, what is the open channel? Like, Marina, how would you say what is an open channel to you?
The open channel is for me the chance for everybody of the freedom of speech. At a regular television station you always have a political party behind us, some other interests, so you are not able to be on television because nobody would be interested to show you, and you don't have a chance to say your own mind. And this is the chance you have at an open channel to talk about very serious matters, now hoping with Sweden to get other countries, for instance, to work against the war the President Bush is presently creating, talk about environment, to talk about sports, personal interests. Very, very important, and it is a chance for everybody. It doesn't cost any money. Anyway, in Germany it doesn't cost any money. If you have a volunteer team that works with you, you can be on the open channel on air.
Johannes, do you agree with that? What do you think is the most important thing with an open channel?
The most important thing, of course, is communication between the citizens, debate on the society we together live in, especially at a local level that is felt clearly. It is also the place for the young people, because you don't see young people or young people's programs or programs for young people so much on television. So they should have the possibility to do that. A local level is important because that is where it all happens, also for the elderly. So it's a service of using media in the society, which is a media and communication society.
And from your experience with working with channels in other parts of Europe, how is this kind of vision expressed differently in, for example, Germany and Sweden?
The difference in Sweden is that the initiative is made by the government, so it is backed up by an existing law, while in Germany it is in the hands of the politicians to decide if they will have an open channel, yes or no. Both systems have their positive sides and negative sides. But it shows that we should look further. We should look into the direction of a European definition on building this Europe that we do, a Europe for all. And we need open channels, especially in the new member states and also in the south of Europe.
How far are we in creating such a unity?
It's going very slowly, because open channels is more or less a northwest European phenomenon. And in many countries one have not understood the advantage of non-commercial channels. We are getting more and more commercial television, and we are getting too much of it. And I believe that it is in the service of the people and the service of our countries in Europe that people meet on open channels, invite people, work with the young, discuss things, and be honest and fair without using journalistic filters.
And Marina, you have been traveling to many other countries also and seen open channels now in, for example, Sweden. How would you say, in commenting what Johannes is saying now?
I think we have, of course, the system where part of the tax, TV tax we call it, finances our open channels, and of course there is the danger that if two big political parties say we don't have enough money, which is presently the case in Germany, we will cut down the open channel. This means to me that it is necessary that not only in Germany but in other countries, European-wide or worldwide, we feel strong enough to go against parts of political members that say we don't need it. One discussion in Germany is we have the internet. Why do we need an open channel? We can communicate over the internet. The
what
question,
do you say then?
Who has the internet? Old people? Young people? Of course, many people have the internet, but not everybody. That is for me, it is not the discussion. It is an answer for the, or an excuse for the politicians to say we can save 1.5 million euros and use it for something else. I think it is necessary in Germany, as in Sweden, as everywhere, to make it more popular. To tell everybody there is something like the open channel where you can say whatever you want to say, even against a politician, without coming to the station the next time and they say you cannot make another show because you talked about something. The freedom of speech is the most important thing, and if this can be transported to everybody and everybody can use it, it is powerful. It is very powerful, and this is why we have to be in contact with all other countries to use this power.
What can we learn from each other? I mean, Johannes mentioned that it's important that these open channels also are locally based and cover the local scene. What can we learn from open channels in other parts of Europe?
I think it is necessary, especially on the local level, that problems that come up that normal people think cannot be solved, but if you make it public and you make a big discussion out, then there is a strength of everybody and you can go against it. A lot of political decisions could be changed if people are aware of it. If you get a big group of people and you find that political party that is trying to change, put power on it, put pressure on it. There is a lot of strength and we have to be aware of it. And I think it is necessary that all open channels and the producers know about the European money that we can get from Brussels to finance special projects. I think the management, they know it, but the producers don't know anything about it. And it's necessary to show more about the possibilities we have.
Yeah, that's I know one thing that you have been engaged in. For example, in many open channels in Sweden, we broadcast from the EU Parliament. How can, because in Sweden there is, we are rather split about the European Union right now. How do you think that the open channels can create, what do you say, an open window towards the other parts of Europe, where we also can be aware of the kind of way we can get the money back, so to speak, as Marina is talking about now?
We should, of course, work in the interest of ourselves and the interest of the Union. And that is best done by a debate on the society where we live in. politics are local, so local television, an open channel is very important in this matter. It is good for the people to speak out of experience of talking to others, of having an own opinion instead of being influenced by mainstream television and just saying yes or no out of ignorance, as it is today.
Because one thing that we have also been talking about now when we have met is the digital TV that is coming now in Sweden, where many more channels are given space in this digital TV, so-called free television. But how come that the open channels are not there? I mean, it's not really discussed on the national level in Sweden among politicians.
It is strange that it isn't, because open channels can do so much for the people. I mean, the young people, they find themselves in a kind of media shadow. The elderly, they have various skills and they could certainly make programs about their concerns. And then we have the society as a whole, the middleman at large, who should know and is wondering, and that's where the political issues also come up. So it is all there, but for one or other reason, it seems that the open channel is having great difficulties in getting through, getting accepted by the politicians. I mean, if we are trying to build a Europe for all, let's stick to the European scale right now, then we need information. We need information from each other. The citizens need to exchange. The workers in one harbor should communicate with workers in another part of Europe in a harbor about the situation. Things like our life is changing tremendously, and it could be a help for building Europe, because politicians don't know where the people stand.
But I think one big problem is that they don't take it serious. Many people, even politicians, don't take it serious. They say, okay, we have the open channel and let a few producers make their shows. They don't take it serious. They look, and I know from own experience that other television stations copy, but they don't take it serious enough, because the awareness of using the open channel is not here. It's not in Germany. We have to give more information about the open channel, that people use it. Maybe make once a week a discussion with just now you're in open channel, this would be something for you out of the neighborhood. Invite some people and discuss the possibility of making a show. And then everybody else that is connected would see it's easy. We discuss it. Discuss matters from your little area. And this is the problem in Germany too, that maybe some of the programs that are, since you have the choice of making your own and free program, you have some goofy programs. You have seen them, and I don't know if you have similar programs here in Sweden. You have goofy programs where somebody looks and says, oh my God, what are they doing there? They look the second time, they have the same, and they will never look again. So it is very, very important to get the program into the newspapers again. We had it at some time in Germany. Present, we don't have it. We have it over the internet. But the same, again, not everybody has the internet. So there must be some pressure to put our program into the newspaper, so everybody can go through the newspaper and say, this would be something, this is something I would like to watch. Yeah. This is one point.
So how do you think, because now you're talking about quality also, that takes away viewers, so to speak, how can these producers be assisted so that they can produce TV where they both can express their own views and do it with a quality that the viewers accept?
I think it is very necessary to give technical equipment. Of course, sometimes you find some volunteers that are very good informed, or that are studying at some school and just wanting to have experience, and that's why they're going to an open channel and helping. But often the productions are bad because people don't know how to handle the camera, you know how important it is to have the right light, or the audio must be perfect. If you have a show and you don't hear what they're saying, nobody will watch it. These are simple things, and I think the assistance is necessary at any time from the open channel, and it must be the interest of the open channel you have a perfect picture for the viewer.
You have a lot of experience about that, in the way it has worked, for example, in Gothenburg. How is it possible to survive these people who really are very passionate about their ideas, but when they are gone, maybe suddenly these members cannot get any more support because there are no people there to support them if there are no money to employ people? How can that be changed in the future?
That can be changed by society going in, by support and interest from society. That's the most important thing. Even if people don't trust the young people, for example, the politicians, and the politicians don't trust the open channels, we should meet and come together, because we are working for a common good. We are working for an IT and communication society, because that's the society where we are living in. And we need to exchange views and experience with each other. We must learn to listen to each other.
And I think one thing is that probably the open channels haven't tried enough to find people that support it. I don't mean with money, the space in a newspaper, to announce something, to criticize something. Never with money. I think when you have people that would put money into the open channel, if it's possible in Germany, it isn't possible, then there is the influence. But if somebody would support and say, okay, in our once a month you have one space in a newspaper and you can write about your program, or you can look for volunteers that work on the technical part, then it is easier.
Do you feel that sort of the awareness about open channels in Germany are there, so that, for example, newspapers in this case are open to these kind of things?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. We have had it in the last years. Present, we don't have it, but we have newspapers for district that are deposited there. Not you don't pay any money for it, and there you could put an article in this newspaper, and for your community it would be okay because everybody would be informed.
How important is it to also use newer media? Because we were talking, for example, about reaching young people, and many of them maybe don't watch as much TV as they used to, but rather switch to other media like the internet and such things. How important is it for open channels to also be in those kind of new medias to still reach the young people as well as the old people with traditional means?
It is very necessary. I think it is a mistake if we say the open channel has the possibility to be on one channel and that's everything. That we have to go with the technical part, and if everybody else is in the internet and is able to have a server so people can get the last show from the internet, we have to do it too, and this has to be supported by the government.
And could that also be a way to exchange programs between countries in Europe, for example?
Yes. I exchange programs or I send my programs to the United States in English, or for communities where there are a lot of German people, and I will do that, and I hope I can do the same thing with Sweden. That is one thing we have to learn, and that is a new Europe, and this is an unusual situation still, and we still think it's our country and that's enough. It isn't enough. It isn't enough. To get a real strong Europe and a real strong open channel, we have to go above our border, behind the border, and reach everybody else.
Yeah. And there is now an organization, Open Channels for Europe, that is doing this kind of coordinating. How responsive are the different countries to these initiatives by Open Channels for Europe?
Right now, there are only a few countries that are really working on it because they have open channels, or they are attracted by the idea of an open channel. So the last motion to the European Commission, to Margot Wallström, was made in Slovakia and signed by the National Association in Sweden, by the Scottish organization for open channels and by the Dutch Organization for Open Channels. And that shows that there is a real interest, but it's always difficult because we are already working on a very low budget. So it's difficult to meet, to have conferences, and it is of importance that we also get this possibility of learning from each other, because every open channel has its own identity. And that means that special ideas from one open channel may very well work in another open channel. And all these open channels together is a fantastic source of information.
So how can we meet, for example, if there is no budget to send people abroad to meet other open channels, how can that communication be kept between open channels in different countries in Europe?
I think one chance is the internet. One chance is I contacted you. Producers should contact other countries. And by making a trip to Sweden, I had a chance, and it's a wonderful chance to see an open channel, to meet other people, to hear other opinions. Everybody else should do that too. If you're visiting another country, go to the next open channel and talk to the people. This is what I'm doing in the United States. I have visited several open channels and I have many contacts, and I communicate constantly with these people.
Yeah. And you come from, you're producing for the open channel in Berlin, where you have, is it like 1.6 million
Yes.
Potential viewers or households that you reach? In Växjö, for example, we have 13,000 households. Mm-hmm. It's quite a difference. What do you think we can learn from the way you work in Berlin, here in a small channel like Växjö?
I think it is difficult to compare a big city like Berlin with a small one, but I think it is necessary that you start with your neighborhood. We say in Germany, vitamin B, the connections you have, use them, look in your telephone register and who is there and contact these people, invite these people, and your group will be bigger and bigger. And I would suggest make a discussion round. Once a week, a discussion round with a group of youth, a group of elderly, everybody, and ask them what they would like to do, their opinion about the open channel. And this way, it will grow and grow.
And you have a lot of experience from producing your own shows.
Yes.
With really no budget at all.
No budget.
How can you, for an association or organization that is a member of an open channel, how would you encourage them to produce a program if they think that, oh no, we have no money, we have nobody who can produce this because they don't have the skills, etc.? How could you encourage them that they still can produce for open
Of course, you must want it, and it's really hard work. Before I started my first production, I went through the big stores and bought decorating things, because we don't have anything in the studio. I have one closet full of material that I use for decoration. We have, of course, this normal decoration, but I have all kinds of decoration I bought on sale, of course. So for each production would look different. I think if you start contacting people, you always think it is necessary to have money. It isn't. I have had production with 80 people, with trucks from all over Germany. If you would have paid for it, it would have cost thousands and thousands. It was all for free. If you tell people your idea, they're mostly so excited about it that they will come. I have always guests coming from Western Germany, flying to Berlin, paying their hotel, and they're happy to be my guest in the show. You don't need any money. You need a telephone to contact people. You need friends that know something, that know somebody that would maybe help you with a production, but you don't need any money. You just have to try hard enough. And I have been doing it now for over 8 years, and with all the productions it was wonderful, and I never spent 1 cent for anybody. Yeah. It is possible.
And like you are working as an individual producer. Yes. In many open channels in Sweden, for example, there are associations, organizations producing. Do you think that, is it that simple, so to speak? Of course it's not simple, but could these organizations and associations work the way that Marina is describing now?
They don't work exactly that way, but when we are talking about the individuals, And then I see similarities, because it's not only, it's also to inform about things that you have at heart and that you want to discuss. So I would say the networking and making contacts, knowing where the possibilities are, taking part in European projects, let young people from various countries meet and make a program together. And by that you create a world of interest in making programs, and perhaps even the politicians will get a better idea or opinion of what open channels can do for service to society and to Europe as a whole.
So what's the future of open channels?
The future must be that we are all connected in Europe. I think this must be the future, the connection. I don't even know if we have a board already for European channels, that everybody is connected, that we have a meeting once a year, so we are informed what is who is what doing at what time, and are there some things we should all talk about, we should all discuss, like the war presently. President Bush is in. There are so many people against it. Why don't we make a session with several open channels and send it to the United States and say, not just one person or not just 100 persons are saying it, thousands are saying, we don't want this war. Please stop it. I think there is so much power. The same on social systems we have. The big discussion we had before, we have high unemployment in Germany and really don't know which way to go, where to cut. Can we learn from Sweden? It would be wonderful to have a discussion. Your high taxes, where is what covered? What could be taken over to Germany as a project? There are many things. On the medical thing, the same. In many things, the United States is ahead of us. Why not discuss future medical treatments we may have in Europe we presently don't have, that we have in the United States? I had several shows about special treatments, alternative medicine, where I said, don't just go and get your pill, try something else where you don't take a pill, and maybe it will help you. Many subjects you can take, and necessary that we in Europe see that we need to work together. I don't think the open channels have a chance if each country stays with their own open channels and don't connect others.
So who will build this infrastructure to make this exchange possible?
I think there is money in Brussels, and you should know a lot more about it. How is it possible to connect all the open channels in Europe?
I can't answer that directly, because very much has to be done, especially decision making and especially a standpoint from the Commission and decision by the European Parliament. Of course, the networking is important, the young people and the information is important. Building Europe with the help of information from the citizens and not only from mainstream media is important. And knowing what the citizen really wants or thinks, you can get from the open channels and not from mainstream media. So I believe when society is fair with itself and wants a long process to be short, open channels will be needed and will come.
So it's a lot about making open channels visible so that the people know that this possibility exists.
That's right. That's right.
So what are you bringing with you back to Germany now from your visit to Sweden?
My visit to Sweden, to see an open channel where I think that the management is interested to be in contact with the producers. I think this is something that at our open channel is not like I would want it to be. And I think it is necessary for the management, for you, for your other people that are working with you, to be in contact, not to sit only in the office and do the administration, be in contact with the producers. And that is a wonderful chance for you now with the open channel to start something like that. As it's like in a big company where the boss never is in contact with his workers. He will always decide from his table, and he doesn't really know what's going on, like many politicians. I think the same at the open channel. Be in contact, ask what is necessary, where can we help, and you will find a lot of producers producing here at your open channel.
We look forward very much to future cooperation, and thank you very much, Johannes Moubis and Marina Treichel, for coming to our studio tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.